Hey guys, it's IzDaisho here playing some Hearthstone, and today I think I'm going to go with Jaina. I don't remember the last time I did Warlock for a video, but I don't know, I've been playing it a lot recently. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jaina. Jaina's pretty powerful and considered to be one of the best. Alright, so this first pick, I think it's just going to be Mind Control Tech. This is one of those cards where whenever you're in a position in the late game and you're thinking, wow, I don't even think that there's any way that my opponent can come back, then Mind Control Tech is one of those cards that can get it back. And then the best part about this card is that if not, it's still just a 3/3 for 3. So, I don't know, it's pretty reasonable. Some Fear Protector's alright, I'm not too big of a fan of it. And this thing, I mean, I don't like the secrets that Jaina has. The only one I really like is Vaporize, and it's not even that good either. So, Mind Control Tech it is. Swamp Ooze, I do like Arcane Intellect a lot, but Swamp Ooze is a really good 2-drop, and it has a really powerful ability that can sometimes be very, very useful. Harvest Golem is a great 3-drop. The other two are not really that useful. I think some people might just take Gnomish Inventor, but I really like Chillwind Yeti, and this card just hasn't impressed me. I mean, I've gone through phases with it where at the beginning I was taking it over almost anything because card advantage, bro. Then I was like, dude, a 2/4 is awful. It doesn't do anything. So then I stopped taking it. And then I started taking it again because, you know, I mean, it does get some value in the body, and drawing a card is really useful, so it's very easy to get a 2-for-1 off of it. But at the same time, I mean, this is like a 2-for-1 too compared to this, because it's like you play a 4-mana 2/4, and then you're playing a +2/+3 pump spell, so I don't know. I do like Chillwind Yeti a lot. Worgen Infiltrator's okay, but I think I'm going to go with the Yeti. Frostbolt is just removal, and it's really good removal too. Gnomish Inventor, again, is an okay card. Frostwolf Grunt is terrible, but yeah, I'm going to be pretty happy to take a Frostbolt here. And finally, after the third time, I will take the Gnomish Inventor. Murloc Tidehunter is like my least favorite of the, quote, playable 2-drops. I don't know. I just hate this card. There's so many times where it just does almost nothing, and yeah, Ironforge Rifleman's okay, but not quite as good as Gnomish Inventor. Alright, I mean, I don't know why this card isn't epic, but I mean, I guess I do, because it has a pretty powerful effect. Only if your opponent's playing Murlocs. Doomsayer's fine, but I'm going to take a Sea Giant. I mean, Sea Giant's good. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about Dark Iron Dwarf. It's probably going to be the pick, but I don't really like that card so much. And when you're winning, or, yeah, basically when you're winning, because in Magic, there are really, like, I guess there are 3 stages of the game in Hearthstone, but in Magic there are really 4, and in Hearthstone there's basically 2. In Magic, there is winning, losing, development, parity, not in that order. But in Hearthstone, it's really just winning and losing, because that, I mean, that's almost always how the game is going, that one person has stuff on the board and the other one doesn't and is trying to get back into it. So if you're losing, Dark Iron Dwarf is terrible, because you're not going to have anything on the board, and you're not going to be able to play the card. So you can't play this card on curve if they keep killing your creatures. But if you're winning, then it's amazing, because no matter what they're doing, you're going to be able to pump your guy and get in, and it's basically a 4/4 that has, or a 6/4 that has 2 of its damage with charge. So that's really good. But the fact that it's not flexible just makes me not like the card. That being said, Mirror Image is not really a good replacement, and neither is Mogish and Warden. But I am not as big of a fan as Dark Iron Dwarf as others. And the reason why I was saying you can't play it into an open board is because Battlecry, give it a minion +2 attack, is something that you have to do. So if you don't have any other creatures, you have to give it to one of their creatures. So yeah, not a big fan of that. Already a little bit heavy on 4s, but these 2 cards just don't compare to the Chillwind Yeti, so I'll take it, and hope that I don't get too many 4-drops. So, not a huge fan of Abomination. When I say that, I mean, I don't even like the card. It just never seems good. When you're winning, it does a decent job of closing the door, unless you have a lot of 2-drops out, in which case it's bad for you. And if you're losing, then you're going to have to deal 2 extra damage to yourself. Sometimes it like acts as a sweeper, but I feel like most of the time, or about half the time, it benefits you, and about half the time it doesn't. Arcane Golem's okay, but I think I'm just going to take the 4/3 for 3 here. May get some upside at some point. This is interesting, because I think Water Elemental might be a better card than Shattered Sun Cleric, but Shattered Sun Cleric is great, and I already have a bunch of 4s. I'd rather have more 3s than 4s. So I need to pick up 2-drop now that I think about it. I only have one real 2-drop. Not really sure of these which is the best. I think they're all mediocre, but I'm going to take Arcane Explosion. Okay, so I'm going to take a Harvest Golem. It's a better card than the other two, I think. Take this Ogre. I do need some top end. I have some 4-drops, but bigger creatures are good. I'm not a big fan of Mirror Entity. Oh, that's funny. I got Ironbeak Owl and Spellbreaker. I think Spellbreaker is generally better, a 4/3 body, than a 2/1 body. But at the same time, I don't have any 2-drops. But then again, this isn't really a 2-drop anyway, so I'm going to take a Spellbreaker here. Wow, okay, another 4-drop is a little annoying, but not going to be upset about it. So Shattered Sun Cleric or 2-drop. I mean, I still have 13 picks left, so I can get enough 2-drops. And Jaina is not like, if Jaina misses a 2-drop, she's not upset. So I'm going to take a Shattered Sun Cleric just because it's so much better. Sorcerer's Apprentice as fast as I possibly could. I don't have too many spells, but it's still a 2-mana 3/2, so. Bloodfin Raptor over these cards that I think are pretty good because I need 2-drops. Injured Blade Master as a 3-mana 4/3 or just a Master Swordsmith. I think I'm going to take the Swordsmith here. Blade Master's not amazing, and I don't have any way to heal it or anything, so. I think Frost Nova is better than Mirror Image. I have never played with Frost Nova, but I've seen it used to good effect. It has to be in a very specific situation, so that's not really something that I like to do particularly, but sometimes it can be the card that you need so that you can start swinging the momentum back in your favor. So I'm going to go with Frost Nova. Take an Abusive Sergeant here. It's not a bad card. You can get some value occasionally. Alright, so I like all these cards. Still, I'm a little weak on 2-drops, so I'm going to take another Sorcerer's Apprentice. Flame Strike. Only got one Flame Strike so far. What I always say to people is that Flame Strike, yeah, it's a really good card, but the only time that it's insane is when you play the second Flame Strike, because nobody plays around the second Flame Strike. They're always playing around the first one, and then by the time you get to the second one, they're like committed to the board, and it sucks. Take another Shattered Sun Cleric. And we finally got Polymorph or Fireball. I think I'm just going to go with Fireball. I'm going to go with Fireball here. Mana Worm. Take another Boulder Fist Ogre. We don't have too much top end, and we only got one Flame Strike. But another Raging Organ is a good addition here, and just another 3-mana 4/3. So our early curve is awesome, and if we win, it's going to be because of that. But I really don't have that many spells, so this is not really the typical Jaina deck. But I think nonetheless it'll be really good. I have 3 Shattered Sun Clerics, I think. Yeah, 3 Shattered Sun Clerics. And I just have really, really good 3-drops. Good 4-drops. I don't know. This deck's okay. A couple of Boulder Fist Ogres at the top, and then of course a Flame Strike. So this deck can definitely do some work, but at the same time, it's not the typical, like, really controlling, really sweep-heavy Jaina deck that you expect to get. And usually, I mean, there's a lot of spells and a lot of spell damage, and maybe even some spell damage +1 guys, but this one doesn't have that much of that stuff. I mean, it still's got a little bit of it, but... Alright, so we're playing against another Jaina, which is most likely to be a typical Jaina. But yeah, the Swamp Ooze is a good opener. Abusive Sergeant is just, his body is irrelevant, and you have to, like, the only way to get value out of it in a Jaina match is to abuse its ability, or use its ability to trade up, but even then you're getting 2 for 1, so not great. Frost Nova is one of the worst cards to see in the beginning of the game. Don't really want to cast it until like turn 7 when I can play like 2 guys out, Frost Nova, and then start taking over the board. Right, he's going to lead off with a Mirror Image. not the hugest deal ever, but also pretty good for him because that means that he's going to be able to, it doesn't really matter. I guess it's better to save Sorcerer's Apprentice so that I can play Sorcerer's Apprentice and Frostbolt next turn. But anyway, these things do mean that he can like play a 2-drop that would be protected, but I do have the Sorcerer's Apprentice. And that's the thing about Mirror Image. It's an awkward card because you just are almost always going to lose value for it because the 0-2s are not going to trade for anything. It just gives you time. But time is not, I mean, time is not always worth a card, but sometimes it is. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Frost Nova is exactly the same thing. It just buys you a turn. But, I don't know. Alright, he's going to draw 2 cards. So it looks like this guy had the same kind of deck as me, except instead he's just drawing a lot of cards. Anyway, because, I mean, I had the opportunity for all those draw card spells, but I decided not to take them. Anyway, I'm winning by a decent amount here. A coin into a blizzard would be good for him, I suppose. But I'm going to try and press this advantage. I'm not really going to overextend anymore. My opponent's way up on cards. I can't really afford to get Flamestruck here. Hopefully he doesn't have a Blizzard. No, just a Frost Nova. But, I mean, that's still pretty good for him. He's going to ping my Swamp Ooze. No, ping my Swamp Ooze. There you go. Definitely want to ping the Swamp Ooze here. Alright, so Sea Giant still costs 7 since he didn't do anything. Am I going to play out this Bloodfen Raptor? I think so. We'll still get at least 1 turn of attacking before my opponent can do something like Flame Strike, like coin into Flame Strike. Hit him for 10 next turn, down to 14. Oh man, he did have Blizzard. That's not good. That is not good indeed. Alright, is it worth Spellbreakering? Yeah, I think so. Just to get another attack out of this guy. This is definitely not going well. My opponent's got 8 cards in hand. I only have 3. And they're not even that good. Alright, so he's going to lead off with a Sorcerer's Apprentice, and now he's still got 4 mana or 5 mana to cast spells. Could cast like a 1 mana spell and then something else. I don't know. I mean, Arcane Explosion is just not very good when you don't have any added spell power. Okay, so he's coining right now into a Frostbolt or a Polymorph or something. Alright, that's actually pretty good for me, because now I'm going to be able to kill both of his guys. But he did that sort of in the wrong order? I don't know. Unfortunately, I mean, I could just play Sea Giant here, but I'd rather do it this way. I can ping that guy, and just trade there. Hit him for 4. And if he plays a creature next turn, then I can play Sea Giant. Thank you. I'm not really sure why he polymorphed the 4/3. That seems like a mistake on his part. I guess he wanted one of his creatures to live or something. I understand that, but at the same time, he did lose some value there. Oh, wow, that is amazing for me. I mean, other than I can't play Sea Giant next turn, but just the fact that he used a second polymorph on a non-Sea Giant is really, really good for me. And that was also a great draw. I don't have very much top end, and that's one of them. So chances are I can just Sea Giant and then Frost Nova for the victory. Oh man, that could easily be a Vaporize. I don't have anything to test it with, so this is bad. Or it could even be a Mirror Entity. Alright, it's probably not a Mirror Entity. Or not a Vaporize, rather. Alright, gonna do that. Gonna play this Yeti out instead of the Sea Giant just in case. It's not Mirror Entity. Alright, interesting. So my opponent's down to 13. So I can kill him next turn. Unless he gains life. Or, yeah, I guess this could be an Ice Block or an Ice Barrier, which would both buy him enough life to live at least one more turn. Silverback Patriarch. Not a great card, especially in the late game here. Okay, so he's got another secret. So one of them is bound to be Ice Barrier or Vaporize. Well, actually Vaporize does not buy him any time here. Because I'm just going to attack him with this. So. Could be an Ice Block, though. Alright, well, I mean, at least I'm not that far behind anymore. Does he have a Frostbolt, or is he just being silly? Just being silly, okay. Alright, so the first one is Ice Barrier. And the second one is Vaporize. Sure. Alright, so now I can play my Sea Giant. Oh no, I couldn't have done it before. Oh, 9? I guess 9, sure. Anyway, as I was saying, I couldn't have played the Sea Giant first because I needed both of his secrets to go away, because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't whatever. He's just dead. I needed to make sure that it wasn't a mirror entity so that he couldn't just copy my guy. That would be bad. Alright, so there we go. We got the first game pretty easily. There was at one point where he had a ton of cards in hand that I was worried, and then that Blizzard was really, really good. But I was able to keep up the pressure, and then he had to polymorph a couple of things, and then I played some bigger things. Not really sure why he polymorphed the 4-3. That was definitely a mistake on his part. He should have just tried to trade his board for mine. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what I would have done. Maybe I would have Frost Nova'd, I don't really know. Because I did want to take care of the Knife Juggler anyway, because I had a guy with 2 toughness, or 2 health, and he does have Jaina's ability, so. Anyway, playing against Uther here. So, Sea Giant is probably going to be able to get cast at some point, but I think I want to get rid of these 3. Beast of Sarge is not great in the matchup. He does have little 1/1s that can trade with my 2/1. Alright, and we picked up a couple of 2-drops, and now we have a really great curve. 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, rather. So for turn 1, what do I want to play? Master Swordsmith? Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Get some more damage out quicker. Right, he's just gonna go with one of those guys. Now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. It's almost always worth it to kill their little creatures, so I think I'm going to here. Even though I can ping it off, or Master Swordsmith does it better, and now this guy is down to 1 toughness. Health, man, I don't know. I mean, I know why I keep calling it toughness because I'm used to magic, but alright, so I'm gonna skip my 3-drop here so that I can keep my Sorcerer's Apprentice. No, that's dumb. Do that, ping that off, beat for 4. And I mean, I've got board position here. This is definitely going well. You could have like a Consecration. Would be pretty good. But even so, I mean, I get to follow it up with a Chillwind Yeti, so not terrible. Harvest Golem's pretty good. Options. I could Frost Nova and that thing, but I think what I'm just going to do is silence this and attack him. Could be a little bit risky, but I think getting 5 extra damage through when chances are he's just going to trade for this seems worth it to me. There's always the risk that he's got a Blessing of Kings or something like that, and letting him keep a creature even for one turn can be a mistake, but at the same time, I do gain, like, 5 damage is a significant chunk of his life that if I trade this, then I wouldn't get to use. Anyway, this game's going well, obviously. I mean, I have nice board position on my opponent, and wow, that is disappointing. Okay, so he's just going to kill that guy. That's definitely a good play on his part. I think I'm just going to Frost Nova and play a Chillwind Yeti, though. Hit him for 10 damage, freeze all his guys, so he's got to have a spell to deal with one of my creatures. Actually, he has to deal with 2 of my creatures or gain some life. And True Silver Champion is not good enough here either. He could also have like a Silencer. Like an Owl and a Hammer of Wrath here would get him out of this pretty nicely. Anyway, basically I just played Sleep from Magic, which taps their creatures and doesn't let them untap, so they can't block and they can't attack. That's basically what's happening right here. I mean, in this game, blocking and attacking are kind of the same thing. You attack into their creatures, and that's kind of like blocking. But either way, definitely going well. I guess he's not dead. Otherwise, he would have. He's dead. It's not gonna do it. Yeah. All right, so I got a nice little turn 6 win there, and kind of destroyed that guy. He had a Magma Rager. Man, that is just embarrassing against Jaina. I didn't need to take care of it because I had the Frost Nova for the victory, but still a sweet game. And that Sorcerer's Apprentice actually really came in handy. But anyway, thank you guys for watching the first part of this Hearthstone arena, and I'll be back for the next one tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye.